Tingles with flyby. Hello, my tinglings. Had somebody ask me about what I'm studying at uni, and, well, a few of you have actually asked me that before, so I thought it might be good to make a video specifically about it so that it's not buried somewhere else in some other video. So my schooling history actually is quite a kind of interesting. I never graduated from high school, and I went to BYU for college. I'm actually a third-generation high school dropout. I know, this is the type of thing we brag about in my family. All of us have college degrees, and my dad was a lawyer for the IRS, so yeah, it's nothing to do with I don't know, anyway, it's kind of a joke, but it did I mean, it is a real fact, but we kind of turn it into a joke, I guess. But anyway, so I got my first degree in linguistics. I was very Mormon at the time and not really thinking about a career. I was thinking, you know, I would get married and I would be taking care of the kids, and that's what would happen. Which is, I don't understand what would be the purpose of getting a university education if that's the case, but anyway. Unless it was about, you know, how to take care of kids, which is not what I was doing. I was just like, oh yeah, I'll just have fun. Anyway. So, I studied linguistics, but I didn't really have any plans. Well, I had plans for a little while to change the world and revolutionize the way that languages are taught. And then I decided I was going to be a writer, so then I was just like, oh, well, I'll just graduate then. I'm just going to be a writer. So then I just graduated in linguistics and ditched my TESOL thing. So then I didn't have a lot of marketable skills outside of the government, and I didn't even really try to look for a job because I didn't want to move from Utah. So I ended up working in security and got myself into call centers. Fast forward a bit, and I was here in Australia, and I didn't want to be doing call centers anymore because tech support is a very high-pressure job, actually. It's kind of on par to me, a step below, obviously, but people treat their internet as very, very important and get very upset if they find out their internet is not going to be working. So, we didn't get any training about how to emotionally handle that, nothing like doctors get on bedside manner or how to cope with anything like that. Just kind of, oh yeah, just figure it out on your own. I was lucky because I found ASMR around that time, and it did help me cope a lot, but it really did take a toll on me, and so it was a celebratory day when I quit that job. But anyway, rewinding from when I quit that job was I was trying to figure out, like, I had gotten settled here in Australia. I finally had all my permanent residency, basically couldn't be kicked from the country anymore, so very, very settled and very happy with that situation. And so it then was kind of okay, it's time to figure out what's the next thing that I want to figure out about my life, because I don't plan on working in this job forever. And I've been thinking for a long time about, what I wanted to do, and do I want to do. I don't even remember. I was thinking about architecture, and I was thinking about, I don't even remember. Oh, I think I thought about psychology, which I still think would have been cool. But anyway, I thought about sports science, going into innovate in sport, particularly footy, because I love footy, and like coaching and that sort of thing. And the real place I made my decision was, many of you know, I am an atheist, and I don't believe in God or anything like that. But when I became an atheist, I was living with my in-laws, which included my love's abusive and kind of smothering father. So I didn't feel the most freedom to explore my spirituality at the time and figure out what that all meant for me. So it's still something I haven't exactly done in all ways, I guess, to figure out where everything lays. So I think things may change for me over the next 10 years, 20 years. I don't know. We'll see what happens. You guys will be along for the ride, so. And particularly, side note here, but as I learn more about indigenous cultures and their ways of relating to the world, I'm not married 100% to just a, pure baseline scientific view of the world. I don't think it's the only way to perceive the world, or necessarily the best way. So, while I'm pursuing a degree in science, which we'll get to, don't worry, I have my own thoughts, I guess, about what that all means. Anyway, so one of the things I was really interested in trying, and I still am someday going to try to figure out how to do a video of this, because it's a really great idea for a video, is a float tank. So, anyway, so I went to do a float tank. I just wanted to try it out, see what it was like. And I really enjoyed it. I think it really zened me out. ASMR zens me out, but that super zened me out. I look so chill when I finished. Just thinking about it makes me feel, I can feel the tension draining out of my body just thinking about it. Anyway, so it was a really good place to do some thinking and get some clarity on what I wanted to do with my life. And I went to 3 sessions, and I don't remember if it was the second or the third session. I think it was the second one. Was, many of you know, with the way my videos are, that I don't stick to one particular type of video. I like to do everything. I am a lover of variety. I love just different things. I love learning new things. I love trying new things. But I'm not a big traveler. I don't go actually a lot of places, but I do like to go gently and slowly out to new places. But I'm not like, oh yeah, let's go to China and then to Japan and then like, that's all a bit overwhelming. Anyway, side note over. Back to what I was saying. And so during that time, you know, this is when I had been thinking about, oh no, I'll do architecture, oh no, I'll do psychology. I was thinking, oh no, I'll do biology, no, I'll do photography. And I was thinking about becoming a painter as well. I was starting painting, and I was enjoying painting. I was like, okay, maybe, but the thing that was really, the thing that really stuck with me there was just that the time that I was spending, like, I guess, you know, because I was probably 28, 29 at the time. And so I was just like, man, if I would have spent a dedicated portion of time from one of my 20s until now, I would have been able to, like, achieve something really, really good. And I hadn't. And so I was like, oh, okay, well, what do I actually want to do, you know? Anyway, so that was kind of the background of that. That's actually a little bit of background into... I was trying to find what I wanted to focus in on, and that's kind of when my channel came into view as well, and became a good thing for me to focus in on, and I feel like I have improved a lot since the beginning, and that happens when you put time in, so very happy with that as well. But anyway, that's more hobby side. I'm talking more professional and university side, which also goes into, I never have plans to be, like I talked about in one of my live streams, kind of my end game goal is to hit like 100,000 subscribers. But I want to figure out how to craft that and do that, but keep a still really personal feel. Still feel like me and not feel disconnected. The connection is the most important thing. But that's I find with the biggest artists is that a lot of times once they hit a certain level, they feel a little disconnected. So anyway, that's the most important thing to me, is to focus on that connection above all and let everything else kind of take care of itself. Anyway, back to whatever I'm saying. Okay, that was a side note. So, I was at the float tank, and I was kind of thinking about what do I want to do. And it came to me more like in a vision, but I mean, it's all just, you know, kind of that in your mind's eye, but when you're in the float tank, your mind's eye just feels so large because everything else is draining away and it's not taking up your mental space, which is so great. Now that I'm describing this, I'm like, God, I need to go to a float tank. Oh, they're so good. Okay, anyway. So, I was at the float, anyway, so kind of, the vision I was having, I was just kind of just thinking about my life, but in a very visual term, and what I was thinking is if you kind of think about a really tall tower, and I'm in this tall tower right at the bottom, and off the tower are all these stairwells, and it's just like, and so it was kind of like, and what I kept thinking about was that the way to conceptualize how I had kind of been living my life up to that time was just like going up this stairwell, and then up this stairwell and down, and then up this stairwell and down, and then up this stairwell and down, and very just kind of frantic up and down these stairwells, but only ever getting, you know, part the way up the stairwell and then going back to the next one. And it kind of, it was just kind of this symbolic idea of the longing that I felt to get up to the top of a stairwell, to feel like I had actually kind of achieved something and done something good in my life. And so then I was thinking about, okay, well then the important thing is to choose what stairwell I want to go up. And so then, I'm kind of thinking about this, and what was really, they all were the same. That was what was like the imagery of them. They're all kind of this, just a very gorgeous kind of sandstone kind of color, but but it was just every stairwell was the same. And so, but there was only one thing that was different, and it was that in one of those stairwells, it was me and my love going up. And I was like, that's what I want. I care more. I don't care about what stairwell I'm going up. I want to be going in the stairwell where me and my love are going together. And so that's when I decided, because he had been talking about going back to university. He's not right now because his mental health isn't really there yet, but I'm sure that'll come in time when it's time to. But anyway, because he has a huge passion for wildlife and for conservation, and it's like every time he does something with anything like that, then he just feels that passion. It's like, yes, this is what I want to do, and I really want to make a difference in this area. And so that was when I was just like, well, the thing I care about most is just being able to do it with my love, like that's what I care about most. And so, yeah, I got out of there and worked on, so that was in November, and semester 1 here starts like at the end of February. So I got my enrollment together and then started going to university, one subject, but started going in March in the wildlife conservation biology. So that's what I'm studying and why. Whenever people ask me why I get into it, I like being able to tell the long story so that you understand it's not just like, oh yeah, it's just because, I'm doing the same thing my husband is. Like, not that but I'm sure that there is a depth of story to that, but for everybody who kind of has that sort of story. But I just feel like people are not going to kind of see me that way if I tell them that. But, yeah, but I just love spending time with my love. I love chatting with him, love considering ideas, coming up with, new things. And so, to me, being able to work with him would be the best thing in the world. So, that's kind of our long-term plan, is to be able to work together. In what way, I don't know. I don't really know what I'll end up doing when I graduate. Whether I'll end up working with a consultancy, try and work with the government. I don't know. I'm still 1.5 years away from graduation. I've actually got a little networking event this Friday with this company that sounds kind of interesting, but to see what they're about. But I'm just keen to also, be able to make us some money so that we'll be a little bit less financially tight than we are right now. Because I think it's a big stress on my love, so that's the biggest thing. But I think the best thing is to just kind of see through this period of time, and then, because I should be able to match really easily what I was making at the call center job, and hopefully make probably a bit more. So that's kind of the idea. But yeah, so I'm studying wildlife conservation biology. It's super, super fascinating. Yeah, very interesting. So there's lots of things that I always think about teaching you guys. One of the things I really want to get, I have a few things now adding up on my list, and I can't decide if I'm going to let my vanity or curiosity win out with my next set of funds. Because I could get a ring light, which is it makes your lighting look so professional when it's on your face. Like, people just, if you look at videos, they just look amazing under them. But the other thing that I'm interested in doing is getting a microscope and then doing microscopic ASMR. So, because I think that would be so fun. I'd probably do like a weekly video. Although I probably am getting myself into too many weekly videos. But it'd be so fun. Like, microscopic ASMR. Come on, that would be so cool. But anyway, we'll see if that happens. But yeah, so that is what I'm studying. Studying wildlife conservation biology. I'm about 1.5 years into my degree. Even though I'm 2 years in, because I was part-time that first year. And then I quit my job, and now I'm going full-time. I'm going to be 4 subjects is the normal full-time. I'm going to be trying to take 5 so that I can graduate in 1.5 years. But we'll see how I go with the load. I think I should be okay, because I'm not doing anything else. And I'm very far ahead on my recording schedule. So that I should hopefully not have stress for my channel. Because this, should be a relaxing spot anyway, so I don't want to be trying to record you videos when I'm like, I have this paper due in 2 hours. Anyway, so keep it chilled and relaxed here, and that'll be good. So I hope you enjoyed my glasses as well. I thought it would be, I don't know, like talking about my university. Let's put the glasses on, that'll be fun. So that's what I did. So that's my little story about how I got back into going to university. And that's actually what led me to getting my Australian citizenship. But I'll probably talk about my citizenship in another video. But I just always like to throw that out there. I am officially in the books and Australian, so nobody can mess with me. I'm going to do my first civic act as an Australian in a few weeks and vote, so it should be good. So thanks for everybody who's asked about my university and all of that. This hopefully is a very comprehensive answer about what I'm doing and how I got here. But yeah, so I already have a bachelor's degree in linguistics, and I'm getting my second bachelor's degree. And who knows if I'll end up going back and getting a master's or another bachelor's. See, another bachelor's is just up my alley. I love I like going up the stairwells. Not continuing up, no. I like just going up. Anyway, we'll see what happens. I plan on keeping my channel forever, so you all will be along for the ride wherever I'm going. So, I hope you enjoy it. I hope I do too. So, thanks for joining me today, and I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, my tinglings. Thanks for watching this video.